The lunatic is on the grass. The lunatic is on the grass. Remembering days of chains, and then they nailed it hard. It's kneeling me now. And if the dam breaks open, many is the and if the band you're in is singing different tunes, I'll see you on the dark side of the moon. Hey folks, alright, so I just wanted to, like, putting this stuff on YouTube, it's all well and good to, I want to keep doing it, I'm not going to stop, but like, giving you information how to get better at this. But in this video, I just wanted to do something a little bit different and try and help with a connection between us, alright, because you don't know me, I don't know you, but like in this video I just wanted to share my guitar story, where I've come from, where I'm at today, and hopefully that'll inspire you to share yours. So if you like what I say here and you can connect with it, by all means just drop a comment below and we'll have a conversation. So I started out I was probably around 8, 10, 9 era, maybe a little bit younger. Used to go on family drives, and Dad always had the Shadows playing. All right, and I remember just always trying to tap along to the rhythm with that, and so I really liked that music. And I think, looking back, that was my first influence into music. But then, in 1980, here in Australia, Kiss broke out, and you couldn't go anywhere without knowing about Kiss. All right, and I saw Gene Simmons and I thought, I want to be like you. Right. I didn't realize at the time he played bass. I didn't really know what a guitar was. I just thought I wanted to be like you. So anyway, fast forward a couple of years, I start getting a guitar around the time I was 13. All right, so Kiss was there. My brother was bringing, my older brother was bringing home influences off his friend, of Meatloaf and the Beatles, and it was really the Beatles that started speaking to me. Okay, and from there, it sort of evolved into come around. I was, before I got a guitar, I had a Beatles poster on my wall, and I was there in my bedroom with a tennis racket, just strumming along to their songs. I just loved it. Every day before school and every day after school, I just listened to Beatles records. Right. Had no idea how to play anything. I just, again, it was sort of like, I want to do that. Anyway, come my 13th birthday, the same brother that put me onto the Beatles, he bought me a guitar with the proviso that I had to pay it back. So at age 13, I had this Hondo guitar, like a Martin D28 copy, in my hands for the princely sum of $200. Back in those days, that would have been big money compared to what we can get guitars for now. But I just loved it. And yes, I paid that back at $5 a week by cleaning the pools and other odd jobs around the house. But it was the best present I've ever received, because it just, to this day, just keeps giving, giving, giving. And so musically, from there, 83, for the first 2 years, I had a learning ball book. I think it was the Guitar Method 1, and I was going through that. I learned the D7 to G change by sliding this finger along from the second fret to the third fret. I thought that was rather cool. And I'm sure there was a couple of other things I learned out of that, like cap down races or something. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, but like it wasn't for 2 years before picking up the guitar that I decided to get lessons. And if you're just getting started now, that's a huge mistake. Get in and learn with someone ASAP. Now, back then there was no YouTube or anything like that. So if YouTube's your thing, go and do that. All right. So from there, my older brothers' influence started creeping in too. So, like there was Cold Chisel, greatest Aussie band, especially the Circus Animals album. Um, that was huge for me. Just love the imagery of the lyrics and and the driving force of that album. Just it's still a classic for me. And then around 85, 86, what hit first was Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. 84, I think it was. And that just like seeing that born down in a dead man's town, hearing that for the first time. And actually, I think it was Dancing in the Dark, but like it was off that same album. And that was huge for me. I used to play that constantly. And then I think 85, 86, Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits came out. And that was just like, I'm gone, you know. Like in those two albums, I went back through all their old catalogue because I was just discovering these bands. I was like a mid-teenager just discovering these bands for the first time and finding out they had other records before that was just like, oh, this is a thing kind of thing. All right. So what I do promise to do in this video is ramble a bit. I'm just recollecting stuff, so hopefully you get to know me a little bit better. And so yeah, go back through all their catalog. But like, what really captured me about those songs off those albums? Yes, the guitar playing was great, especially Mark Knopfler. He's one of my all-time heroes. But for me, it was always connecting to the lyrics, like and getting the pictures that they um, portrayed, like Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run album, another huge record for me. The screen door slams, Mary's dress waves. Like a vision, she dances across the porch as the radio plays. Roy Orbison singing for the lonely. Hey, that's me and I want you only. Just that image, just like, I got lost into another world. And like, I want to say, like, yes, I have friends at school, but like, there was nothing that connected me to somebody else like those songs did. I was transported away to, you know, being on a highway. What's he say? Last chance power drive. You know, and all those sorts of things. And then like for Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms, picturing himself off fighting somewhere or meeting across the river. All those sorts of things. Just the imagery that they um, portrayed just hooked me. Anyway, from there, like Cold Chisel was playing a big influence, and of course the Angels, another great Australian band. And it's just like one thing led to another. I had my guitar, and all right, and then along comes Ryan Adams and a host of other bands that it's just you get lost in, especially as a teenager. So I got into a school band. I had left school by this stage, and then other guys who were still at school, they left early. Um, we just hooked up and started playing, and we had a little band. I think we played the School Fate. That was our big gig, right? But like from there, I just always continued playing with bands and local cover bands. Didn't I haven't look playing guitar for me never came easy. Like I always had to work at it. I wasn't one of those people that are born with a magic ear. Right? Could never pick up things instantly or like that. Had a friend in a band. He was he was one of those people. You could put out an instrument in any of his hands, and he could end up playing something on it. Right? And he done a lot by ear, and I was always impressed with that. But for me, I had to learn, go through the books. So I had to learn the theory and stuff like that. Um, and I'm not saying go out and do that because I don't believe you have to. But like back when I was between 13 and 16, all I wanted to do was be in a band. I didn't want to be at school. All right, I just wanted to be in band, tour the world. All right, so I think if you're coming in at this guitar thing as an adult, you're going to have different aspirations. That's perfectly fine. But I'm here to say you don't need to know theory to be able to play songs and just have fun doing that. All right, so I had several years then playing in local bands, and we had some good times and small tours here and there. And then um, the band I was in at the time met a girl there, and full. I'm not going into full details here, but like I decided to leave that band. And anyway, we got more and more serious and stuff like that. And then one time I come home from tour, and you know, several 9 months later, we have a kid together. So, and and then life started to change. Yes, I was still out doing the gigs here and there, but it was more like, okay, work for a family and stuff like that, which is all fine. This is what you do. So the the big dream of touring the world sort of went when my daughter came along. All right, and then several years after that, like I'm finding I'm working more, doing the day job. The guitar's getting less and less, and then by this time we've got a son, and that's all good. And then I wanted to get back into guitar more, and no disrespect to their mother, um, put the ultimatum out and said it's either us or the music. All right, and that was a tough decision, but like at that time I felt it was the right decision, and I chose them. Didn't put the guitar down, but just the playing of the gigs and stuff like that. And a couple of years after that, what I noticed is like working more, not playing live or anything like that. And then I'm walking around sort of like in a, won't call it a depression, it wasn't that. It was just lost. Felt like my purpose had gone, right? And I didn't know what for. Anyway, things come to a head. We split up. And then I was 35 at that stage. And I was working, but like it was just thrown for a massive loop. And so what I did, like I've got more guitars than just this one. What I did is I sold my favorite Les Paul Custom. I had that brand new. I was one of the first ones on the Gold Coast to have a Les Paul. Uh, we done the deal with the music shop and they ordered it in. Back then it was like 3 months time before they could get out here because they had to come by boat. All right, things have improved a lot since then. Anyway, so I sold the Les Paul, uh, obviously for less than what I bought it for originally, and that's okay because I got the Les Paul in 89 because it was an 88 model. Anyway, I digress. And so then for 4 years, from 35 onwards, I was just living out somebody else's dream and still not fulfilling mine. I was in a bad place. Again, not depression, just in a bad place. Just wasn't thinking in the right terms. Went out, got jobs. Yes, met some great people, but it was all in the wrong line of things for me to do, and I lost my way. And and then one day I was driving to work and I was thinking, and this was like 7 or 8 years after we'd split up. Maybe not quite that long, I can't remember now, but and I was just like I'm driving along and a flash inspiration comes in, we'll call it what you will, And it was just, you know what I'm doing? I'm just living out what she wanted me to do, which is just get a job, just be a family man. All right. Didn't have the family, still had the job. And I was just struggling in that job because I wasn't aligned to it. And it made it really hard to get anywhere with that. And so it wasn't long after that that I got let go from that job because I wasn't doing my job, but like my mind was starting to go elsewhere. Anyway, cut a long story short, it was just after I finished that job, I met my partner that I'm still currently with. We're like 11 years in now, and she's been fully supportive of music. Like, she actually gets excited when I talk about I want to get back into a band kind of thing. All right. So along the way, musically, I've ebbed and flowed. I've done a lot of fingerstyle stuff. I've gone down the jazz road, chord melody, and still had that rocker, bluesy sort of side to me, thanks to like Ian Moss from Cold Chisel. And it's just been, you know, one thing I probably do regret is not keeping up with the live thing, because the last 10 years, I'm not regretting this. This is fantastic, but like I've just solely focused on helping adults play songs for fun. I teach classes with that here on the Gold Coast, and that's been very rewarding. And but there's times where that I wish I was playing live bug comes in. All right, but musically, influences over the years, that's all changed. I haven't lost that. Give me a good lyric and connect with the song that way. I've had my guitar heroes like Gary Moore was huge. Of course, David Gilmour. So all of them just being fantastic. But for me, it's always been about the song. So like, I discovered Bob Dylan really late. Probably, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago. I really started getting into him. My partner doesn't like him, but that's for another day. And again, I just get lost in his lyrics. There's no flashy guitar solos in it, but if what's in there really fits the song. And like, then of course you got your Tom Petty's, and the Beatles is always there. They're never going away. Dire Straits is always there. Um, so it's been a funny journey, but like, when after I sold my guitar, the Les Paul, it was like, I think about 4 or 5 years later, I was coming up to my 40th birthday, and a friend from an old band put up a video, or he shared with me a video of us playing a support for the big band Kiss, right, which we done in Brisbane, and I just watched that and like, you know, got a little bit teary and down on myself, thinking, what the hell have I been doing? Why aren't I playing? Because I hadn't got really back into the guitar at that stage. I was thinking, what am I doing? Why aren't I doing that? So then the next day or two, I went down to that music store just thinking, I've got to get myself another electric guitar. And there on the wall was my Les Paul. It did not go in 4 years. I had not stepped into that shop in 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and there it was, still on the thing. So I got it back. And I might add, way more than what I sold it for. All right, but I just wanted it back. But yeah. So, and that was a really good reunion, and it just makes it like it. Playing guitars, if it brings you peace and joy, like I like nothing more than just sitting around with a cup of coffee and strumming away, or if it's a night time, a glass of wine, and just playing other people's songs, or just working on my own. It doesn't really matter, but it brings me joy and peace. And that's what I want to say to you. If it brings you joy and peace, yes, life is going to get in the way. It's going to try and derail you from your passion, but don't quit. Right? Don't make the mistakes that I did. Keep at it. You don't have to give everything up because something goes wrong. Right? You may have to take a little bit of downtime from it, or not play it as much, but it's always going to be there. And no matter how do I say it, how much life got to me, as soon as I pick this up and start playing, the stress is gone. Okay. And there's nothing like getting in the car and just turn the music, because sometimes we just got to go for a drive and let the music do the talking. All right, so that's a little bit about me. Hopefully I haven't rambled too much. I don't script these things. I just wanted to share. Hopefully that connects with you, and if it does, great. Look, but like, that's basically my story. Love to hear yours. So write it out in the comments below. All right, and well, let's connect. All right, because the guitar is a great thing. Met her in the club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and tissues like cherry cola. La 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 la. One thing I do is I do love playing guitar. I can't remember a lot of lyrics. Can't sing that well, but I love to do it. All right, so no one's going to stop me doing that. It doesn't come across too well on videos like these, I must admit, but hey, I'm not looking to be perfect, just looking to have fun. All right, folks, hopefully that's... All right, hopefully that's been helpful. All right, see you soon.